Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go to film enthusiast. Every week, I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, Randy Young here. Under the radar. Welcome to the show. I have a wonderful show for tonight. And before we get into everything, I want to introduce my wonderful guest critics, my favorite power couple. We've got Rachel Cole. Welcome back, Rachel.
Happy to be back.
And Eric Godfrey. Welcome back, Eric.
Good to be back as well.
And between these two wonderful people is a wonderful doggy. We have Dobby. Dobby.
Hey, buddy.
I almost asked him how he was, but yeah. I'm sure
He's
he's very well loved, as you can see.
Yes,
got his
yes.
heating pad. He's all good.
Nice, nice, perfect. All right, guys. So tonight we're gonna do Brendan Fraser double header. His newest film just came out on Friday. It's called Rental Family. It is wonderful. Then we're gonna get into an older film of his from 1994 called With Honors. Both are very good movies. Strong performances from Brendan. But first off, I want to get into Rental Family. And if you aren't seeing Wicked for Good right now, then you should definitely check out Rental Family. It's just a heartwarming, heartbreaking dramedy, and stars Brendan as an actor living in Tokyo, who basically he's kind of struggling and eventually finds his way into the arms of this company that offers rental family services, which basically provides stand-ins for families, for weddings, for funerals, for whatever, basically so that the family can save face. And Brendan gets involved with this company, and they send him to two families, one to be the quote unquote father to a little girl, and the other to be sort of a caretaker for this older gentleman. And both storylines are fantastic. Both are really, they tug at the heartstrings, they really do. And at the center of all this action is Brendan, who he's just an actor trying to get work, but along the way, he makes some great friends and some beautiful memories. This movie, I remember seeing the trailer just a couple months back, and I knew immediately that this was going to be one of my favorite movies of the year. And after seeing the film the other day, it definitely is one of my favorite movies of the year. And I'm just so happy we're going to talk about it now. The screening I went to actually had Brendan Fraser doing a very special Q&A. And this was at the 92nd Street Y in New York City. It was a wonderful event. I got to see the film there. And, I can't wait to see it again. It's that good. It's just a special movie, very heartwarming, like I said, and heartbreaking. But at the center of it, Brendan, he gives a great performance. And I think another Oscar-worthy performance. Hopefully he'll get another nomination. But enough about me. Enough from me, rather. Rachel and Eric, what did you think about Rental Family?
Oh, I really loved this movie. I knew that I would like this movie, or I hoped that I would like this movie when I saw the previews for it. I was not prepared for how beautiful this movie is.
Hmm.
The way that it's shot, the way that it's photographed, the cinematography on this movie is gorgeous. The settings from the city, like the bustling city, to, of course, the sequences out in the countryside, and the gorgeous, gorgeous shots of one of the characters, his childhood home.
Hmm.
And there's this shot of this giant tree
Hmm.
that I just want like framed on a wall.
Yeah.
Just so beautifully done. I think the story itself is it's a wonderful like modern story about
Hmm.
people's need for connection
Hmm.
and the ways that we struggle to connect, and also the ways that we're afraid to admit that we need connection,
Yeah.
to the point of, instead of, say, going to therapy or telling the truth to our family, we would rather rent an actor to come and basically live out whatever reality we or the people in our lives want.
Yeah.
And I think it's such an interesting and very relevant and timely story.
Mhm.
and it gave me big the was it Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
Mhm.
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, the Ben Stiller
Mhm.
film, which I know at the time when it came out, it wasn't as well received, but I feel like people have kind of come back to it and have like come around on it. But it gave me very similar vibes about going out, about trying to find human connection,
Mhm.
of enjoying just the beauty of this world.
Right.
It's a very inspiring movie
Yeah.
from many different angles. So, and I think Brendan Fraser is brilliant. I think he is very understated in this, and I think that the underlying sadness and loneliness of his character comes through in a way that is never it's not saccharine, it's not sad sack, it's just that sort of like aching
Yeah.
feeling that comes through, even from the first opening sequence, which doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue, but you get his character so quickly,
Yeah.
even with as sparse dialogue as there is in that.
He is just so good. He's got so many layers about him. He's a big guy. He's 6'3". Just a sturdy guy, but he's got such a heart too. Because I met him once at New York Comic Con, and it was a very brief interaction, but he was very sweet, and I couldn't believe I was talking to him. And he was the perfect person to play this role. I believe this is his first starring role since The Whale, which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor. And I believe you guys were at my place for that amazing moment when they read his name off the envelope.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was one of the greatest Oscar moments in my experience. And he's just he's a very expressive face and very just sweet, down to earth. And you can definitely you're there with him for the ride in Rental Family. I can't think of a better actor to have pulled this off. Rachel, you mentioned that loneliness and that longing for connection. It's funny because there's another movie set in Tokyo that reminded me of that, Lost in Translation, with Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. Kind of similar themes there. This one is a little lighter, a little more family friendly, I want to say.
Mhm.
And I can't praise this movie enough. There's just so much to say, so much to commend. But again, at the forefront is Brendan's performance. Um, Eric, how about you, sir? What did you think of the film?
Well, I'm gonna have to echo everyone. Of course, I really really liked it. It was a fantastic one. It's one that I've been. I mean, we saw it very recently, so a lot of it is very fresh. And so a lot of still processing. As far as Fraser's performance goes, I think it's one of those things where he has such a natural ease to what he does.
Mm,
It's
Yeah.
just it's so. Uh, toned down, but it's the right level of it. And I think one thing that's very appreciative is the fact that as the story progresses and he finds himself being rented out to different people, you do see little subtleties in each person that he is, from the reporter for the old man to the father for the little girl,
right.
even to the friend to the isolated gamer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you see all the different, like he does actually have different, you see different personas in him, whether it's
Yeah.
just the way he wears the glasses or the way he wears the suits. And so I think he pulls this off so effortlessly. And I think that's kind of one of the things that's it's a real, but also the other thing that he pulls off so effortlessly is a person who feels that it's like he feels foreign, yet he still feels like he belongs, whether it's he speaks fluent Japanese, I don't know, or but it's also at the same time, it's like, yeah, he's an American in Japan for 7 years, but it feels like he understands Japan. It's like
Mhm.
he both feels like he belongs but doesn't, which of course is
Mm,
such a theme of the movie.
right.
And but I think also um the whole, like as much as Fraser deserves the praise, and he does,
Yeah.
the entire cast is
Yeah.
filled to the brim with all fantastic
Yes.
performances,
Yeah.
that
100%.
each one of them gets a chance to really shine. And it's very funny at times,
Yeah.
but it's also deeply emotional. I think it has a lot to say about kind of a loneliness that not only is prevalent in Japanese culture, but one that's also very prevalent in American culture.
Yeah.
Right.
And definitely, while it doesn't have a lot of easy answers, it at least is trying to say something.
And you know what? I wanted to mention this as well, but the idea or the industry that is the rental family is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it started in Japan in the early 90s, actually maybe even late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an interesting way of, having people deal with certain pains or,
Hmm.
confusion or awkwardness in their lives, in their family lives, in their personal lives. And I think this is like a great commercial for that service. I don't know if there's multiple rental family companies in
Hmm.
Japan or if if it's expanded with, since its inception. But it is a very interesting concept and practice. And I think Brendan, again, he brought a lot to the role. It's an actor playing an actor, which is brilliant. I love it. It's kind of meta in some ways, but
Hmm.
for the most part, it's really him playing himself to a certain extent. And basically, Eric, like you mentioned, kind of adapting to different situations, scenarios, families.
Right.
And, the stuff with the old man is so sweet.
Hmm.
Of course, the stuff with the little girl is great too. And I mean, I could have even seen this as a series. Like every episode would be a different family, different situation.
Right.
A
That's
hundred
just an idea.
percent. Yeah,
That would
that
be
would
amazing.
that yeah, I could definitely see that happening
Yeah.
based on, I mean, depending upon the success of this movie, I could see that end up happening. Like even like a mini series.
It would be amazing. It'd be very cool, even if the director Hikari would get involved. I would love that because obviously this is his world right now. But again, right now we've got Wicked for Good right in theaters, dominating, I'm sure. And I don't really see, unfortunately, I don't see Rental Family breaking any box office records. It should though, because it really is a magnificent film with some solid performances.
Hmm.
And I just want to, yeah, touch on the other cast members here. You've got Takahiro Hira, who plays the rental family agency owner. He's great. We also have Mari Yamamoto, who also works at the agency. Uh, Brilliant performance from the young Shannon Mahina Gorman as Mia,
Hmm.
the little girl who desperately needs a father figure in her life. And we also have a great performance from Akira Imoto as the older gentleman, the elderly man who takes
Mhm.
a liking to Philip. Philip is Brendan's character's name
Hmm.
in the movie, and they do a fantastic job, and I love it. And this movie is actually a co-production of United States and Japan, and it has a very good blend of both cultures, and I think it did really well. It did well for me because again, this is one of my top. This is on my top 10 for the year. How about you guys? Is this on your list?
So it's certainly, I do have a lot of movies still to get through for the rest of the year, but I would be surprised not to see Rental Family as one that continues to occupy a space in my brain and just for like what I consider the best of the year. And yeah, Fraser going again for the double slam for Whale and for
Mhm.
this one. But yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like it's such a remarkable movie in how. Yeah, it is one that is just I've been batting around a lot of the different themes about how much it deals with so many people looking for connections, not just the people that are being hired, but
Mhm.
Frasier and the rest of them also
Yeah.
in desperate need
Yeah.
of their own connections to make
Even
themselves,
again in that opening sequence of Brendan Fraser
you
coming
know.
back to his empty apartment and looking out and just like kind of raising a glass to his neighbors across the way
Right.
that
Hmm.
don't even see
Well,
him or
it
like acknowledge him. It's
Right.
just
because
that's basically
well,
like
Yeah.
what he looks
Sad.
out and
Well, I
sees
was gonna
every
say,
day.
like, especially for us, because we were still in Jersey when COVID hit, and
Hmm.
I know New York,
Hmm.
but it was where we didn't really have the best view. It just that it felt something like, especially in such a big city like that, of
Yeah.
when we were all tucked away in our apartments. This moment of where, I mean, you would see videos of people like
Yeah.
flashing lights to each other or doing
Hmm.
Right.
things where
Right.
here we are, all the lights in our apartments going on, nobody
Yeah.
interacting, but we're all still just seeing little pockets of that. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
that really made me think of that, reminded me of that time.
Hmm.
of
Mhm.
seeing all those that imagery from your apartment window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, being in Queens, New York, we definitely heard people outside their windows banging pots and pans.
Yep, yep, yep.
Mhm.
It was always at the same time. I think it was like 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think it wasn't it for like there was like a thing like for like medical workers.
Yeah, for the
Oh yeah,
healthcare.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was pretty cool because you know that everyone is around, even though we're
yeah,
we're just kind of literally quote unquote trapped in our apartments. There's other people out there. They're making
Mhm.
there's activity outside of this apartment, and
Yeah,
it's going to be okay eventually because we're all here in the same situation, and
yeah.
we're
But
still here.
but at the same time, just yeah, again, that isolatedness,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that all these lives just right there, but
Yeah.
nobody willing to just make that step to go out. And it's just, yeah, and
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah. I also just a brief mention. This also reminded me a lot of the HBO series The Rehearsal, particularly the first season of it,
yeah,
Okay.
where he's essentially hiring all of these actors to play a
yeah,
family, to act out a scenario for this woman that wants to know what it would be like to have a family and to have a
Right.
child.
And
And
yeah.
and of course also the problem that eventually that one of the children that's one of the child actors that's playing his son starts to have a real life connection to him and to like have an affection for him.
Right.
Um, and
And
of course, ethically,
And in that vein, I could also throw in the Truman Show, which kind of also blurs the line between reality and fiction. And
yeah,
also, I always butcher the title of this Philip Seymour Hoffman film. Uh,
Schenectady,
yeah, Schenectady, I think it is. Yeah,
Schenectady, New York.
it's something. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
mhm,
And yeah, it's just I love stories like this. This is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
so
and to be fair, like another, well, also a Schenectady in there.
mhm,
Um, it's 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 all three of them are dealing with the we really don't know what the correct ethics is on this one. Like
mhm,
yeah,
rental family is like, yeah, there's some weird ethics here.
right,
Rehearsal, especially,
right,
yeah, ethically, I don't know what the right answer is, but I think
right.
it's the thing of that's
mhm,
because there is no easy answer here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the rental family, their heart is in the right place, but
Right.
is it
yeah.
ethical? Is it right to just insert this complete stranger into a person's life? To,
Mhm.
Yeah, and besides also the issues of like the apology,
Right. That's a whole.
the people that hire one of the clients to come and do quote unquote apologies, which are really just her showing up to pretend to be a husband's mistress
right.
so that she can apologize to the wife for having,
And be an outlet
for
for anger.
yeah, and being an outlet for the client's
Yeah.
anger that
Mhm.
she takes actual abuse. Um,
Right.
and of course, in those cases, obviously, like the movie comes to a very like a much more positive ending than where it begins. But
Mhm. Yeah. Is it right? Is it wrong? That is the question, but they're still doing it, I think, so whatever. I okay, so I just wanted to there's no real segue to get into the next movie, but all
Speaking of ethics,
yes, yes, perfect.
Harvard ethics.
So here's another Brendan Fraser film. This one is from 1994, and I thought it was very appropriate because it's just a very strong, another strong performance from Brendan. The movie's called With Honors, and it basically stars Joe Pesci as a homeless man who gets encountered by Brendan Fraser's character. Brendan is a Harvard student. He's very uptight. He's trying to get his thesis done. He only has this one copy, hard copy, because his computer crashes. He's trying to get his thesis printed. He goes to the library. He trips accidentally and drops the thesis into a grate, into the library basement. And in the basement, he meets Joe Pesci, who's living down there, and basically is holding the thesis ransom so he can get food, so he can get a bath, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, Basically, it's a rocky start from the beginning. I'm not going to give away the ending because it's a very emotional ending and it's a very emotional film overall. And basically, it is a story about acceptance and friendship, and again, here, connection. And with honors, it's just a wonderful film. It's got a great supporting cast. Aside from Pesci and Fraser, we've got Maura Kelly, Patrick Dempsey, Josh Hamilton, and Gore Vidal as a professor at Harvard. And also, I want to mention that Madonna has a song here. It was actually number 2 on the Billboard charts. I'll Remember, and it is the theme song to With Honors. It's a wonderful song and great companion piece to the film. And I remember seeing this film like many years ago, actually, when I saw The Mummy and was slightly obsessed with Brendan Fraser. So I decided to watch all of his movies. This was on there, and I checked it out then, and I rewatched it the other day now, and it's even better than I remember. So I know you guys have thoughts on With Honors. Rachel, take it away.
Yeah, I will say that like I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I was not as positive about it as I was with
Hmm.
Rental Family. But this was my first time actually seeing this movie. I thought that I was completely unfamiliar with it until I saw the poster, and I realized that I had in fact seen this poster somewhere back in my memory of going to the movie theater or going to a rental store and seeing this poster. Um, yeah, I think Joe Pesci puts in a really fantastic performance here. It's funny because it really actually feels like a the type of role that would have been written for someone like Robin Williams,
Hmm.
though I think at the time he probably was too young to play a role like this for the
To be fair,
particular
Joe
age.
Pesci was doing a good Fisher King impression.
That's right. Thank you. That's true.
Yeah, definitely. Um, but I think I think maybe where with honors maybe falls a little bit more short than something like Rental Family, I think comes down to the script of it. I
Hmm.
think all the actors do a great job. I like the general like the bones of the script, like the structure of it. I think that where it falters is that at points it kind of loses the plot a little bit. Like it kind of like gets into points where it like spins its wheels. So it's like, okay, so now he's like living at the house, and now we're gonna do like a montage of him living at the house, or that we're gonna introduce this element. Like, I think that like if you're looking at like just like the plot structure and like the setup payoff, you end up feeling like you're in much like stronger hands with something like Rental Family, where you can trust that if they're introducing an element or they're introducing something into the script that it's going to pay off later. Whereas in With Honors, there are some things at the beginning that do pay off later, but it feels sometimes, especially towards the end, like it's introducing elements just so that they can pay off maybe like one or two scenes later. Like it doesn't feel as like satisfying of a payoff. It's just kind of like, oh, they just introduced this element and now I guess it's come back. Um, like it's for example, the subplot of him having a son and them
Hmm.
going to visit his son and like the story about the dog and all that. I feel like that was all like all of that information was kind of dumped into the script very quickly and then they wanted to have that pay off really quickly
Hmm.
like afterwards.
It
So
was it was a little bit cliche, that's for sure, and overly syrupy or overly saccharine, as you mentioned earlier. But I think overall it works. Especially, I think it's a good film because for like a younger generation, because there's not a lot of profanity. It's not violent. It's just a very heartwarming story.
mhm.
And I think Brendan, he was obviously very young in this. He was, I think, in
Mm.
his maybe early mid 20s, and he was still kind of getting his footing as an actor. But I think that the interactions between him and Pesci are perfect, or close to perfect. And I love the interaction between all of his housemates. I think there's a great love story that doesn't really get fully realized. It's kind of also like an afterthought that they kind of just threw in and like, whatever. But I think the performances are very good here, particularly Pesci, who I can't really imagine him having heard of a starring role of his because I think he's usually a supporting character.
Yeah, he's usually supporting, or if he's towards the top of the billing, it's in like a larger ensemble cast. So it
Right.
doesn't even feel like he's necessarily the lead.
Right. Yeah. It kind of felt like him and Fraser were battling for the top spot, but I think they both, complemented each other very well. And
Yeah.
I'm just happy you guys got to see this one because
Yeah, yeah. If I could say one more thing actually
yeah, yeah.
about Joe Pesci's character that I actually really appreciated about the movie,
Hmm.
I appreciate that the movie fully acknowledges the fact that he struggles with alcoholism and that that is a very big component to the reason why he is is unhoused and why he, is struggling and that they don't fall into the need to make him into this kind of like the perfect homeless person, if that makes sense, or like that they allow him to be a complicated character and to have these more difficult parts to him and more difficult parts to like about him
Hmm.
because I think that makes him a more fully realized person instead of being the model homeless person.
Yeah.
So, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think they paint a good picture of him. It's an interesting character. I would have liked to have known more about his backstory. The stuff with the son was actually pretty good, but yeah, they kind of threw that in there. And there aren't a lot of movies about homeless people that I could think of. I mean, Eric, you mentioned The Fisher King, which is a good example,
Yeah.
but that was kind of an over the top character. This one, I think, is a little more grounded in
Mm.
reality, which is
Yeah.
great. And I'm sorry, Eric, you didn't even. What were your thoughts? Sorry.
I kind of share very similar thoughts. I think it's one of those ones where it's a movie that benefits a lot from its cast, benefits a lot from the performances, even if Patrick Dempsey is doing his best Pauly Shore impression, um, which was surreal to see. Because I remember I had seen this movie a long time ago. I think it was like probably on TV and it just watched it. And the one moment that always stuck with me, because I've seen clips of it since, is when Joe Pesci has his big confronting
Oh
the
yeah. Yep.
mean Harvard professor
Right.
moment in class, and then everybody clapped. And
The slow
but
clap. The slow clap.
yeah, so but at the same time, it's because that is the strongest part of the movie. Because I feel when the movie focuses on the fact that you have a Brendan Fraser as a character who views himself and his future in politics, and it's the notion of what happens when you find someone who has fallen through the cracks. That the system does not want, that he does not want to work with the system, and the system doesn't want to work for him,
Yeah.
and they're at complete odds. And you have a person who has all the best of intentions of I want to create a society and a system that benefits everybody. And now I have found the perfect person to challenge that worldview.
Yeah, well,
Um,
and that's the
Yeah.
thing is that his thesis at the beginning is very antagonistic and very prejudicial
yeah.
Mhm.
when
Well,
he
that's what I mean.
first
Yeah.
reads his
And
thesis.
so
Yeah.
it's the notion of kind of the softening of the sympathy and when it's focused on that, that's my favorite parts of the movie. But the
Mhm.
problem is it does get very muddled as he gets integrated. And while I do enjoy as they go on the road trip and do all the things and you start to learn more, and that it's the problem of it feels like it's two very different compelling things, and it's like either do A or B. You don't want to do both of them. And so it's
Yeah.
like, and so for me, I would have preferred a script that steered more towards like the whole of challenge, making my thesis, doing all this such. But and also it was, I think if I remember right, this movie came out at a weird time when there was this weird obsession with taking a new young Hollywood actor like a Brendan Fraser or somebody and being like, you're a Harvard or you're an Ivy League elite and you need a lesson from either a surly old man or a homeless person.
Like Goodwill Hunting
Like,
was
yeah, Good Will
name. Yeah.
Hunting or Scent of a Woman or
All right, Chris O'Donnell. Yeah. That's
yeah,
right. That was a weird like formula. Yeah.
it was a weird period of time when it was just like, all right, find whatever our new
I mean, Finding Forrester kind of
find yeah,
falls into
find,
that.
of course it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Bolt the door if you come
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Even to a degree, Dead Poets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like it was just this weird time of it's like of the elite just need a homeless person to teach them how it's done.
And in a weird way, also Rudy, because he was kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah, Rudy
you know,
definitely fall
Working
into that.
with
Yeah,
class.
yeah,
the
yeah, the whole
janitor
thing.
kind of, telling
Yeah.
him how life is and how to
Mhm.
rise above it. But yeah, good comparison. And yeah, I mean, so where did you guys see the film? You saw it online?
Yeah, we watched it
It was
on Tubi.
on Tubi.
Yeah,
Tubi.
It's
Okay.
available free
yeah,
with
with that,
commercials.
yeah,
Oh,
So
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, because I
yeah.
just wanted people to know where they can watch the film.
But
And
but again, the true lesson of the movie, as it always is, back up your thesis.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, seriously, you never know when your computer is going to crash. So it is a good lesson. Um,
yeah.
so Yeah, so I'm really happy we got to talk about these movies tonight, guys. Rental Family is fantastic. I can't wait to see it again.
Mhm.
And With Honors is great too. I almost watched that again. But yeah, both are strong, and I
Mhm.
highly recommend them to everybody watching and listening right now. And I hope we could do another Brendan Fraser episode soon.
Yeah, I hope
Yep.
he, as always, as with proving through both with honors and school ties and the whale and rental family. If there is one person whose career I will always be rooting for, it is Brendan Fraser to always do
Yep.
whatever he wants to do.
Agreed, agreed. Well put, sir. Well put.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and now this is the point of the show. We're going to do some plugs. Eric, you're exempt. You're, it's fine.
Nothing to plug.
Okay.
Dobby.
Oh, Dobby. And
Yeesh.
Rachel, anything, what's going on with you?
Well, you can find pictures of Dobby over on Dobby the House Doggo on
Oh,
Instagram. You can find my baking adventures on Instagram at Second Act Bake Shop. If you're in the Twin Cities area, you can swing by Angel Food Bakery. I'm baking over there. We also have an upcoming Dungeons and Dragons and Donuts night happening here in December, so that will be lots of fun.
oh my.
That's happening just the second Saturday in December. So you can watch social media. I'll be posting that up on Instagram and other places. And yeah, that covers it for me. Go see Rental Family in theaters, see it on a big screen, and support original stories.
Here, here. Yes. Totally agree with that statement. We need more originality, and Rental Family is one of those stories for sure. As for me, you can check out Under the Radar on Slam Radio through SiriusXM, channel 145. That's Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 5 a.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern. And also the video version of Under the Radar can be seen on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, MNN, at 11 a.m. Eastern, and that's every Monday. And always feel free to subscribe to the Under the Radar YouTube channel and to share the love. So, Rachel and Eric and Dobby, thank you so much for tonight. Great episode as always. And I'm Randy Younger. This has been Under the Radar. We'll see you next time. Take care.